my last owner always said I was sharp and edgy. He was such an ass.
So it seems like the game doesn't remain paused if you load up a save, which was paused when you saved it. Interesting. Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 2, the Enhanced Edition, The Shadows of Arm. And when last we left off, so far our infiltration of the Drow city hasn't gone too badly. Nobody suspects that we're not a Drow, and if they do, they haven't said anything yet, which means they're probably getting ready to blackmail us. Either way, we've been tasked with a very important mission that we need to make sure goes well. We're going to help Solafine rescue a matron mother's daughter from the Mind Flayers, and while I said before that the window of opportunity for success was very small, we need to be at the location to do the rescue in 12 hours. We do have things that we can do in that time, because we've already rested and we did quite a lot of buying and selling before we got the mission. We're going to go to the Tavern. We have more than enough time in that 12 hours to do what we can do in here. Some of the stuff in here are things that Terri isn't going to enjoy doing, but we need to do them if we're going to prove to everyone here that we are strong enough to survive and blend in. So let's go. I think everybody in here is a named NPC. Certainly the ones in the main area are. We have Marinid here, we have Barag there, we have Nim Kalasa and Tathlin, then there is Imrin, and the first person we're going to have a long conversation with is here, Zordrin. Let's say hi.
Victory for the Spider Queen.
Greetings, lovely female. I am Zordrin, the manager of the fighting pit. Entertainment for us all and a chance to gain Lot's favour. You seem a hardy type. There are several dread beasts that have been captured and await your death blow, if you dare. You are Nazadran, yes? Recently arrived? I have heard of you. There are many here who would desire to see if you fight as well as they say. Of course, if you are pale and cowardly, you need not make the attempt. The Spider Queen, however, respects those who are strong. What sort of beasts would I be fighting? We capture our foes in skirmishes in the dark tunnels, female. Shark fiends, devourers, eye tyrants. It depends on who survives longest, really. In other words, we're going to be fighting slaves. This is a prospect that Terri definitely is not going to relish, but we need to prove to the people here that we are strong, so that they'll leave us alone and give us the time to search for those eggs. Terri's still not going to enjoy this, though, and if the opportunity to fight Zordrin himself comes up, oh my, is Terri going to take that chance. But for now, we have to do this to try and blend in. Very well. I'll fight in your pit, Zordrin. It is gratifying to see such steel in you, female. You shall first battle an Umber Hulk, a creature of not inconsiderable size. It is angry. When do you not encounter an angry Umber Hulk? Indeed, indeed. I shall open the gate for you now. Go in quickly. If you survive, come and speak to me once you are done for your reward. Go then, for Mother Loth. We're not going to need the rest of the party's help. We can deal with this by ourselves. When the door closes, the enemy, should appear right there. Sometimes it takes a little bit of walking around to trigger the enemy appearing, but here is the Umber Hulk that actually managed to get a hit off. It didn't deal much damage, and the Umber Hulk really isn't going to be able to deal with us because Lilycore protects us from the confusion effect, and let's face it, our armor class is currently absolutely ridiculous, and we have a Thaco that is absurd. -8. That was not a challenge.
Through destiny and might, we shall rule supreme.
Ah, the glory is yours, female. I am sure the Queen of the Demon Web Pit smiles upon you. An Umber Hulk is no mean opponent. Here is the reward. Now, should you wish to continue to show your prowess, there is another slave who awaits bloodletting at your hands, female. You're scowling at my words. Perhaps that fight was more grueling than it looked. Get on with it. A dreaded Navasu of the lower plains, captured by the handmaidens for crossing a matron mother and sent to fight in the pits. What say you, female? Yes, I will fight the Navasu in your pit. Very well. I shall alert the tavern that a glorious battle is about to begin. Prepare yourself, female. The gate will open only a short time. Again, we don't need the rest of the party. We're gonna wait for the gate to close, and for the enemy to appear. There is the enemy, teleporting in. Terri versus a Nabasu. Nabasu got first blood. Terri is going to get the rest of the blood. All of the blood. 16,000 experience is ours.
At your command.
You have defeated the Nabasu? Praise to you, female. We were very entertained by your struggle. Here is 500 gold for your display. Dare you continue? There is a prince amongst the shark fiends. The ones called Sahuagin. A strong one captured with difficulty during a raid on their city. It is a strong fighter, this one, but then so are you. Perhaps you will succeed where others have failed. What say you, female? I'll do it. Open up the gate, Zordrin. Very well. I shall alert the tavern that a glorious battle is about to begin once again. Prepare yourself, female. The gate will only open a short time. This fight may be a bit more tricky. It definitely warrants quaffing a potion, because the Sahuagin prince that hasn't yet spawned in, but will soon, there we go, can hit quite fast and quite hard, but not hard enough that we have to worry about dying. We hit harder and faster. And the prince is gone. And we got a Sphene gem. I don't think I've ever looked at the description of a Sphene gem. Sphene is a soft, brittle gemstone and, like Scapra, easily worked by unskilled cutters, of various yellow to green shades, the most prized of these being a fine emerald green. I don't think this is one of the prized ones, but we'll take it.
Of course.
Now let us go and get our reward, and have Edwin cast Improved Haste, because the final fight is one where we'll definitely need double attacks. And we'll cough another potion.
For the Spider Queen.
The Shark Fiend is defeated! The Spider Queen smiles on you this day. Many weak drow were slaughtered by the beast. It is good to see it put in its place. You have proven yourself amongst us, female. For such a show, I give you 750 gold. Take it, and know you are worthy of Lot's favor. There is no need to continue. The only slave left is one nobody has been able to defeat. It would be a waste to see you killed by such female. What slave is it? What type of creature? It is an eye tyrant female, nemesis of the Underdark, captured 4 years ago by a party of vengeful drow, and it has never been defeated in the pits. It has many deadly powers. Only the bravest warriors have dared it, and have died. There is no need to fight, female. Unless you wish to. I'll fight it, Zordrin. Open up the gate. Are you sure? Excellent! Attention all! A most brave drow female has agreed to take on the most horrid of our battle slaves, the fearsome Eye Tyrant. I shall open up the gate for you. Move quickly, as I will not keep them open long. Lots favor to you, female. We are super fast, and not only do we move very quickly, we are going to attack twice as fast, and we need this, there we go, the Eye Tyrant to appear. We need to be right next to it, and we need to have at thee! The double attacks is really handy because we want this, we want the Eye Tyrant dead very soon. We have a debuff, spell failure. We're not a magician, so that really doesn't matter. Also, our spell was dispelled, but it lasted for long enough.
The best surfacer is a dead surfacer.
You have killed the Eye Tyrant? Truly you are worthy of any lords Mother Loth might lay upon you. Here, 1,000 gold as a reward for the sight. I see now why the House Despana shows you such attentions. Despite being Nazatran, a female of your potency should be a worthy addition to any house. Unfortunately, there are no other battle slaves in my pen. None a worthy foe for you. Perhaps if you return at another time, I'll see what I can collect, yes? Perhaps you can enter the pit, and I'll fight you instead. I am no match for your skills, female. If you are so desperate for blood, I will go to the pens and see if there is anything more suited for you. And off he goes. We don't get to fight him. That's a shame. But we've managed to prove ourselves to the people of this city, and that was worth the pain Terri went through doing what she did.
Do not question the matron mothers.
Greetings to you, O potent female. Stay for a while if you wish. The group of us here are sharing exploits and tales of the past. Something I doubt you Nazadrans have time for, eh? I have a tale for you if you're interested. Something my house mother once told me. In fact, if you've a mind, that is. Sure, I'd like to hear it. Excellent! My tale begins long ago, when our people first descended into the great depths and dark caverns, during a day when our homes were not carved out of stone and clay. Drow homes were made of twigs and black grasses, grass that many had brought with them into the Underdark. There were few homes, of course, but the largest belonged to the first matriarch. The matriarch led the early hordes of drow, helping them survive in hostile lands. She was powerful, potent, and cunning, a great boon to her people, who admired her greatly. To honor her, a group of drow set upon the shark fiends and stole the stone throne of their king to secretly present to the matriarch as a trophy. They stowed it in the grass rafters of her hall. The matriarch arrived in her hall, and the drow warriors went to retrieve the throne, but much to their horror, its weight caused it to fall through the grass rafters and crush the matriarch below. It is a sad, sad tale of our early travails in this dark place, and it holds a moral as well. Can you think of the moral, female? I'm sure I have no idea. The moral, of course, is don't stow thrones in grass houses. Could I kill him? Please say I can kill him, Terri. That pun was kill-worthy. Imbecile! How dare you tell such a moronic lie about the history of our people? Loth will sentence you to an eternity of poisoned agony for such madness. Bah! The Spider Queen has no sense of humour. Now Veron, on the other hand. You dare? I shall kill you in the name of the mother of all drow, fool. He is mine. No one interfere. Oh, don't worry, we won't. We're just going to let this combat play out. One drow is armed with a two-handed sword. The other drow is armed with a dagger. You can imagine how well this fight is going to go. It could go the way you're not expecting, but let's be honest here. I'm not liking Marinid's chances. Meanwhile, I'm going to look at this table. There's nothing valuable on that. There are also things I can get on this table. Let's have a look there as well. 1 gold. It's ours now. And Marinid is dead, predictably.
To walk apart from house and queens, to walk into the grave.
The blasphemous fool. Now I must go explain this death to the handmaidens. Bah, a foul worshipper of Veron. Here. It seems like they don't like that person. That's not surprising, considering practically everyone here reveres Loth.
To walk apart from house and queens, to walk into the grave.
Greetings to you, female. You are one who is recently from Ched-Nasad, correct? I have heard of you. We drow gather to tell tales of our conquests on the surface, or dark stories of our past. It is a tradition in Ust Natha, this place that was the first. What do you mean, the first? You do not know your lore very well if you do not understand what I speak of, female. Surely you know something of our history, no? Long ago, when our despised cousins of the surface betrayed our kind and banished us to the depths, it was near this very place that the drow first descended. A terrible legion. We encountered implacable foes at every turn through the Underdark. It was in this place that we first gathered together to protect ourselves. Ust Natha means the first place we gathered, the first place we wrested our birthright of power back from the sentence of our hated cousins. It is from Ust Natha that we invaded the cities of the Stout Folk and established the first greatest kingdom of Telantuar in wondrous Beriden. Beriden and Telantuar both are gone now, but Ust Natha remains, a reminder of the debt of blood we owe to our hated surface brethren. So Ust Natha is close to the surface, then? Not close, but closest. The passage that winds to the surface is very near here. It is guarded, however, by the great silver beast and closed to us. Guarded? What would happen, say, if the passage was no longer guarded? There are many other wards against us, I believe, but the Silver Beast is the greatest amongst them. If it were no longer guarding the passage, I have very little doubt we would overcome the other wards and pay our hated kindred a long overdue visit. That is hinting at another way that you can solve all of this. You can just go and kill the Silver Dragon if you want. We're not going to. Do you have any other tales to tell? I have few accomplishments yet, female. I completed the blooding but a year ago, when I made a long voyage to the surface with 2 brothers. It is a blinding and foul place, the surface. My brothers and I found one of the surface elves, however, a female, pale and delightful to look upon. She was almost too easily slaughtered. We were hunted by elven patrols and my brothers were murdered, but I carried the head of the female back to the Underdark. It was considered a fine trophy for the blooding. My matron was pleased, and has sponsored my entry into the Male Fighters Society next year. Can I ask you some questions, perhaps? If you wish an honest answer, female, your best course would be to approach Nim Kalasa there. He is the eldest of this group, and the most prone to talk. Then I will go see him, then. You'll do as you wish, I suppose. Let us go and speak to him. Nim Kalasa. He's right here.
The best surfacer is a dead surfacer.
Ah, I didn't see you approach. My failing eye shall net me a blade in my back soon enough, I swear it. I should be at home, dying properly like an old drow male, rather than here listening to tales so often. Do you have any tales of your own? I have many tales of my past, but I have told them so often I do not care to repeat my words. Let the younger drow boast and beat their chests as they wish. Can I ask you some questions, then? Go ahead and ask if you need to know something. I suppose I'm old enough that I can sit still and answer a query or two. Tell me of Loth. I'll not be one to talk over much of a Spider Queen. She is a proud one, Loth is, and she rules her cities with a careful eye. If you have any sense, you'll never mention any of the other gods. Other gods? Oh yes, Veldrin the thief god, and Gornadar the slime god of the caverns are 2 of her most implacable foes. And then, of course, there is Elestray. The Dark Maiden is a good deity of our kind, if such a thing exists. She seeks to turn us from our path of darkness, you see. Ha! But such gods hold little truck with most of the drow. Loth is paramount. The Spider Queen is a jealous goddess, reserving all worship for herself. Most drow will not even breathe the names of the others for fear of retribution. Myself, I am old enough to care little any longer. But surely you know all of this. I am not saying anything that any drow would not know, yes? Overlook my open-windedness if you can. Go ahead and ask if you need to know something. Tell me of House Despana. A strong house, branches of which you'll find in cities other than simply Ust Natha. Many of the great families have their beginnings here in the first city, yes. Despana is high in Lot's favor, and many say but it schemes to place itself above all others here. I know little of such plans, however. Go ahead and ask if you need to know anything. Do you know anything of dragons in the area? I know of only one beast that inhabits the near caverns of the Underdark, and that is the ancient silver beast Adalon, she who was sent by our surface cousins to guard the old passages. Yes, that one. What can you tell me about her? It is said that the silver dragon once had a mate, long ago, a mate who was captured by our people when we were still dwellers of the southern reaches. The heart of her mate was to rip from its body whole, as I hear. The queen of the drow used its heart in a ceremony of great darkness, one that angered an old, pale god of the surface elves. I know not which one. Does it matter? When we were driven beneath the surface, sentenced by our fiendish cousins, their god made a pact with Adalon. In return for her vow to guard the old passages to the surface, he would give her what she desired most. At a time of her choosing, when she had grown old, Adalon would call him a god, and he would grant her children. Eggs that would be made real by the soul of her lost dragon love. Or so the story goes. I hold little truck with it myself, but then I would never venture into those old passages just in case the tales of her presence are true. Is there any news more recent? Perhaps you've heard of her eggs? Well, I have heard the passages to the surface are open once more. At least the matron mother certainly believes so, gathering their armies as they are. Perhaps Adelon is dead. I know not. Go ahead and ask if you need to know something. I'll be going now. As you wish, female. On your way, then. And finally, let's talk to Barag.
Do not question the matron mothers.
We are telling tales, female, of our feats in history. It is an old custom of Ust Natha, something you would be unfamiliar with, Nazadran. Tell me something of Ust Natha's history, then. Something of the city's history, eh? Yes, I suppose you would know nothing of it, ignorant lout. Do you even know of the part Ust Natha played in the scattering? The scattering? Ah, how completely devoid of sense. Your house mother should be flayed alive for her neglect of your instruction. When the magical battles caused the collapse of Verindon, the great cavern once held by the dwarves, most drow were crushed. Only the favoured survived. Groups of drow fled the rubble in every direction, seeking new holds to establish their power, set upon by our enemies. That was the scattering, fool. Ust Natha was untouched by the Great War, and hordes of drow came to our walls for protection. Devourers and eye tyrants followed, seeking to eradicate them. For 1 century, our enemies waged constant war upon us. The walls of Ust Natha held, however, and we pushed our enemies back in a merciless victory. Many of the drow then left Ust Natha to find larger living spaces, more resources to plunder, establishing your beloved Ched-Nasad among other places. There would be no Ched-Nasad were it not for the walls of Ust Natha. That is the part Ust Natha played in the scattering. Do not forget it. What of your own feats? I have slaughtered many in my time, female, so do not ask such a question as if I have not. I am as battle-hardened as any in the fighter societies. I took part in a glorious running 100 years ago, when a cavern leading to the surface was found. I helped raid the communities during the hunt. Many pathetic humans fell to our blades in that running. In memory of Ust Natha, I stumbled into a village known as Halflings. The diminutive worms scattered. I hunted them all. I have their tiny skulls to this day. The running lasted a week before the humans marshaled their defenses. The humans collapsed the tunnel, but one day we shall find another, and I pray to again be among the drow who will take part in the running. Can I ask you something else? I'll tell my own tales as I wish, and I'll not be prompted by you. If you want to ask insipid questions, go bother someone else. I'll do that. Yes, you do that. Go. And so, when we come back, folks, we've explored some of the tavern, but there's still a fair bit more to look around in. There's this area here that contains nobody, so we're not going to be doing anything there. There's also this area here that contains a bartender. We'll be talking to you at some point. And there's also the area over here. We'll be going over there next time. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later. What could be over there? More fighting? It'd be a good guess.